Hello, I'm Paul Chek and welcome to Trainer's Tips. This month I'd like to talk to you about the importance of assessing your client's current and past injury status. Some of you may have seen Kara and I demonstrating how to correct the lunge in our garage tips section, and you may have also seen Kara on my high performance conditioning program through EFI Sports Medicine. I'd like to just expand on that a little bit, but I'll do it in such a way that if you're just watching this tip for the first time, it will work for you as well. Kara is a competitive tennis player. Now, I just briefly discussed with Kara her past injuries. If I was to write a conditioning program for Kara, we've already identified that she has some discrepancies in her lunge, and we've identified that she has some core stability issues which are overflowing into her hip, knee, ankle, and foot. Now, Kara just told me a minute ago that she has had some injuries in the past. Could you just tell me once again, did you say you've had some shin splints, is that correct?
Correct.
So shin splints and what else?
Tendinitis in my arm, my right arm.
Okay, so
tennis.
tendinitis in the right arm.
And I have lower back stiffness.
Okay, so which was the first one of those problems to begin to nag you?
Shin splints.
Followed by?
Tendinitis.
Followed by tendinitis, followed by low back pain. So let me explain to you how and why that is a very common scenario. If you watched my assessment of Kara's lunge, I showed you that she short steps the lunge. Remember, that's not taking a natural full step into the lunge. And I told you at that time that people that do that typically have weaknesses in the hamstrings, the glutes, and or instabilities in the sacroiliac joint, which are almost always due to lack of core control. At that time, I informed you that for a tennis player, that would typically result in overuse of the arm. So what you see here is that shin splints are actually commonly a side effect of weak thigh musculature. So when a tennis player explosively reaches to get to the ball, if the butt muscles and the thigh muscles cannot be used to effectively decelerate the knee, the brain has to recruit the Tom, Dick, and Harry muscles, so the tibialis posterior, flexor digitorum, flexor hallucis muscles, all those muscles that attach to the back of the shin are then over-recruited to decelerate the knee. So this is a challenge, because what ends up happening is someone like Kara uses the small muscles to do the work of the big muscles, and that leads to shin splints. Well, I'm sure you can imagine that once an athlete that plays tennis gets shin splints, it even diminishes their ability to lunge further. So, as I said, you'll start overusing the arm to get to the ball, and she has the classic pattern tendinitis in the arm. And if you continue to play, then you're naturally going to end up with low back pain because the faulty recruitment patterns travel backward up the leg into the low back. So why I brought Kara on for this particular section is because I want to show you how important it is that you do a very comprehensive assessment of their current injury status and injury history. With a brief look at her injury history and an understanding of biomechanics and kinesiology, we can see that Kara has actually never been properly rehabilitated. Otherwise, she would not have a problem lunging today, which would really improve her tennis game. So what we need to do now is go backwards and reevaluate all the areas that she had injuries before and look at her core control and begin her new conditioning program with a comprehensive reassessment. It would be a major mistake to assume that those injuries are rehabilitated just because she may not have pain in her shin now or pain in her arm now. So always review past injury history, and even if they have no pain, do a complete reevaluation of the prior injuries to see if they have improved the functionality of the injured areas. If you're an exercise professional and you do not know how to do an assessment like this, I highly recommend you make a relationship with an orthopedic physical therapist or someone that has the ability to perform a competent orthopedic assessment.